All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. No kids today. No kids today. All right, man. So look. Today episode we're gonna be talking about 6 o'clock show. By the way, I'm sorry, 6 o'clock show. Today we're gonna be talking about Glasses of Malone confronting academics about the whole situation and how he feels as though Drake is wrong and all that good stuff. So before we get into that, I got to get my spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13,000 subscribers. And yes, I am the King of the North. King of the North, you know what it is. So look, we're going to get into it and we'll be back to discuss. All right, so we're going to get into this. I'm sorry the camera keeps focusing in and out. I don't know why this camera is doing this. I need to get a new camera because this one does this periodically whenever you're not focused in front of it. But I'm going to get another one sooner than later. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it.
First, though, Euphoria was where Kendrick laid it out and basically says, I'm what the culture is feeling. He basically said, I am something that you can never be, and that is exactly why you can never beat me. This was never about rapping ability. This was about...
But that's never what's going... Because hip-hop ain't about rapping ability. Hip-hop is about culture.
That's not true. That's not true. In certain situations...
It is.
Yeah, in certain...
That's actually a pretty good way of putting it. Hip hop is not about rapping ability. It is about the culture. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I think that it's worse. How would I say this? It's not good for Drake because he's not of the culture, or at least he walked into the culture. So you got to understand, the culture is many different things all at one time. It's all a whole bunch of moving parts. But where academics is saying, he's basically trying to say that Kendrick used the culture against Drake. He used it against Drake, kind of like what my family member said. He used it against Drake. But in the art of war, I can do whatever I feel if that's a part of the rules of engagement. If Drake had said, the only thing listen, I respect you, you respect me. Just don't use the culture against me and don't use my blackness against me. If you don't do that, then we can have a friendly fade. If Drake would have had put those rules out there, even though I know that's kind of weird, but it's the truth. If he would have put them rules out there, then it'd have been something different. The same way as when Kendrick kind of laid the ground rules out, and Drake broke the rules. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Let's see what they say.
It's only been about the act, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what you don't get, and this is at the core of it in the Bronx and New York. It's about culture. Okay. Not about rapping ability, act. This ain't pop
now with everything.
If that was the case, Papoose have a number one.
Jay-Z and Nas. I don't think
that's not true. That's not true. Papoose is I want y'all to listen. Let me be clear about Papoose real quick. I want to detour real quick. Papoose is okay. He's not a super great rapper. Let's be clear here. He's all right. I wish y'all stopped comparing him to being a great lyricist or a great rapper. He's just a guy who raps really good with words. That's it. He's not a super lyricist. He's not even in the top 10 in New York. Let's be clear. He's not top 10. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put that out there. That's a sidebar. Just for y'all, all y'all Papoose glazers. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't nothing that you can say he's the pinnacle of what it is. He did one song that y'all think was fire when he was rapping with syllables. That's it. But come on. This rapper's, to me, that's 10 times better than him. Like, let's be clear here. But I ain't trying to veer off into something else. I'm just saying. It's always been about the culture. It's never really been about rapping ability. You know what I'm saying? It's never been about rapping ability. Now, it's just, this is a very interesting argument. And it makes me sit back and think that academics is trying to make the case that Kendrick used the culture against Drake. And Glasses is basically saying, well, it's been about the culture. It's not that he's using it against Drake. It's just about the culture.
That wasn't as much as about culture as about
I'm just saying,
a lot of rapping and song making, right? Like
it's about culture, act. It's about culture.
But both
act.
guys check
It's about the lingo you use, how you present yourself, act. That's what hip hop is about. Anybody can rap. Post Malone raps. Anybody can rap, act. It's about culture, cuz. That's
it's
what
only
you don't
about
get.
culture.
That's why, listen, act. The reason you so big, act, is because you covered Chicago culture.
Okay.
Not no fucking rap. You covered the culture, and then the rap scene.
Damn, that he can't get around that. He can't get around that. The reason why you so big is because you covered Chicago culture. With Kendrick, okay, so now I understand the argument. Here's what it is. Glasses is basically saying Kendrick Lamar said, I'm with the culture feeling. The culture is basically feeling like you walked into this culture and you took over. It's not that you wasn't invited, but you basically walked in and took over. And people don't like it because there's people who work harder than you, who's been behind you, or who's been ahead of you the whole time, and you basically just took it all. And on top of that, you went to Atlanta and you exploited all of them, even though they got some opportunities off of it. You got more of an opportunity because now Atlanta made you a part of the culture. That's what he's saying. And people are tired of it. You might have some people who are cool with it, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, people are tired of the way you walked into the culture. That's what the argument is. I understand now.
Born out of it. It's the culture. Act. Your career is due to that Chicago culture. That whole culture, that get down that you educated the rest of the country on.
Chicago birth.
Wait. Hold on, though.
You got
Glasses.
this wrong.
All right, Glasses. Here's the thing, though.
You know what? It's one thing I can say, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like constructive dialogue. I like dialogue between two people, even if you may disagree. I like dialogue. I'll put it to you like this: I have a lot of family members who are on a different side of politics than myself, right? And I love talking to them because they give me a different perspective, and I give them a different perspective. When you have somebody interject and say they birthed you, that's not constructive to me. Even though we all don't like act, I don't like act too, but I like constructive dialogue, and I hate when people try to, how would I say? I don't like when people try to shit on people. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I like constructive dialogue. Now, if you are a person like Drake, I wouldn't really care because number one, you did a lot of nefarious things. Now, not to say that Act didn't either, but in this back and forth between him and I was gonna say Post Malone, him and Glass Malone, I can understand. But all that interjecting, saying things, I just don't think that that's good for the dialogue.
And this is I think this is going to be an unpopular view. That was always Drake's weakness. He's from Toronto. You could always have that be like, hey, you're not from where we're from. You didn't grow up.
But it's not even about it. It's not because he's from Toronto. It's because
not about exactly. He's not getting it either. It's not because he's from Toronto. Because there's some people from Toronto who are of the culture. He's not getting it. Drake is a Jewish man. He grew up as a Jewish kid. And he just so happens to play around with rap and became successful off of it. That's what it was. That's it in a nutshell. Right there. He is a Jewish kid who grew up as a Jewish teenager, and he walked into hip hop. Now, we all know, and let's be clear here, we all know how how us as minorities feel about Jews. Right now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Jews. I'm just saying we have a thing. You know what I'm saying? And if you are Jewish and you come into hip hop doing your thing, and most people who run hip hop is Jewish, what do you think people are going to say? How do you think people are going to feel? Let's be clear. Like, come on, let's be honest. I ain't talking bad about nobody. I'm just being honest. This is what it is, right? If you are Jewish and you're half Jewish or whatever you want to call it, and you walk into hip hop like with the carpet rolled out for you, and then you get helped by people to become this guy, and once you get up there, you start talking crazy about everybody. How do you think people are gonna feel about you? I mean, let's be clear.
He's a Jewish man from the suburbs.
Okay, all right. And by the way, you know what I said? I said if we had Kendrick that went at let's say a Future or even a Meek Mill, like granted, I know he's more clever and wittier than those.
You can't use this. Listen, let me explain something to y'all, and I want y'all to understand this. And I'm gonna be clear. Stop using the what ifs. We're only dealing with reality. What happened? That's it. You can't use what ifs in an argument against reality because it didn't happen. You can't say, well, what if Kendrick did this with someone else? It wouldn't have happened like that. Obviously, it wouldn't have happened like that because it's someone else. Like, that argument is lame. You can't use that argument no more. The argument is over. That's a dead argument. You have to say straight up what it is. What it is Kendrick Lamar body Drake. We're talking about Kendrick and Drake. That's it. We ain't talking about Meek Mill and Drake. We ain't talking about Kendrick and who was that? Big Sean. Because he did battle Big Sean, remember? And Big Sean didn't say nothing. So we can't say that either.
Guys, but he couldn't use that angle. So the angle that he used against
You
Drake,
crazy as fuck.
You
crazy.
You can't use culture against Future.
Bro. The way you be crashing on Meek for his lack of cultural relevance.
No,
that doesn't even make any sense to your argument, bro.
That is 100% fact. You absolutely can use culture against somebody that's fully black. What are you talking about? You absolutely could do that. They don't have to be mixed for you to use the culture against them. What are you talking about? There's a lot of black people who don't even subscribe to the culture. What are you talking about, bro? I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying it is what it is. There's a lot of black people who don't even like the culture, right? I'll be honest with you. To be honest with you, Kendrick even said one time that fuck the culture. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It makes you the culture is one of those things. It makes you frustrated but happy at the same time. It's very, very divisive, but also very inclusive. It's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. Wow.
I crash on Meek for his lack of intelligence, but Meek, Future, they're from the same culture that even if it's from a different side, Kendrick couldn't have used culture against them. He would just have to out-rap them and outsmart them. Not saying he wouldn't have won. But the glaring thing with Drake that was easy is, Glasses said it. Yo, you're the Jewish guy that at the end of the day, somebody with, I know Ross is kind of ancillary to this.
He's not hip-hop, Ak. He's just not hip-hop.
But that's not fair, though. How is he?
Yo, this is great. I love this. So, okay. So you're mad. This is what I'm saying, right? Right? This is how you know that Drake can't read the room, right? And this is why he lost that battle, and this is why he would never beat Kendrick. I don't care what he does. He could never beat Kendrick, right? He don't understand there are certain things you stay away from, because this is I believe the third time he has tried to say something about somebody's woman, right? It's one thing you do not do. And this is why you know Drake doesn't understand the culture. It's one thing you don't do is if you're not of the culture, or if you're half black, or if you're Jew, anything, if you're white, Asian, anything, you do not disrespect black women in the culture. You stay away from that, because the one thing that I will say about the culture is the culture holds black women up to a different standard. I mean, like, to a different standard. And I didn't want to get into it. I'm just going to say that's what you don't do. You don't. I don't care if she is even a mixed black woman. You don't talk about black women of the culture. If they're of the culture, you stay away from that. It's one thing you don't do. Number two, you don't talk about another man's woman. You don't. If they don't have anything to do with it, if they're not relevant, or if they're not even in the conversation. Now, let's be clear. Let me just say this. Not just be clear. Let me just say this. Pusha T's wife wasn't in the conversation. She's not a rapper. She has nothing to do with it. You shooting at his girl, bad move. Kendrick Lamar, Whitney had nothing to do with it. Whitney's not a rapper. She doesn't do anything. You shooting at Whitney. Not a good move. Serena Williams she is not a rapper. You have an issue with her husband. He's not a rapper. You shooting at Serena. You're shooting at Halle Berry. I could go down a list of the women that you have been shooting at. So when people say they're with the culture feeling, a good portion of the culture is black women that are held to a different standard. How you think they're gonna feel? So when you say he used the culture against him, it's not that he used the culture against him. Drake don't understand the culture, and he tried to manipulate it, and he got caught. He didn't use the culture against him. He didn't understand the culture, and he thought he could get around it, and he got mollywopped. That's it, in a nutshell.
Not hip hop. Do you really think
Because
he's not hip hop?
Street urban culture. Just listen. Yes, hip hop is street urban culture personified through them arts and elements. He's not. He's a pop artist. He covers music like a pop artist. He's Madonna as a rapper. He does the exact same thing. Oh my God,
bro. Yo, I swear to God, I literally said that. I said that, and I did not drop that video. I literally said, and I swear I'm putting this on everything. I put it on everything. I literally said that he is Madonna as a rapper. I swear to God. Yo, I cannot believe this. I swear, I literally said that he's Madonna as a rapper. I was even going to drop the thumbnail and everything for it, and I didn't drop that episode because something else came up. Yo, I swear to you, bro. I swear to you. I'm going to put that as the thumbnail. I ain't trying to take no credit from him. I mean, he said it, but I literally said that in the video. I swear, if I could, man, listen, man. Oh my God, bro. Oh man, if that file didn't get corrupted, man. I'm gonna see if I can try to fix that. But yes. This is crazy. He's talking right now.
Personified through them arts and elements. He's not. He's a pop artist. He covers music like a pop artist. He's Madonna as a rapper. He does the exact same thing, cuz. The same thing, act. One week he'll have a low rider under the Bay Bridge and he's a West Coast artist. Next week, he's a New York artist and he started from the bottom, even though he started from a middle class community. It's just different. Act. Next week, he's like, what the fuck, like Atlanta niggas. He's a pop artist. He just makes really great rap songs and he's a nice MC, but he's not a hip hop artist. That's why he was always destined to lose this battle. He was never gonna be.
Damn, yo. I'm going to run this back because what he just said probably should be put in a fucking museum. What he just said should be put in a museum. Oh my God, bro. What he just said, I wish I could put it all on a thumbnail, but I can't. But what he just said, they should put this in a museum and put it right, Drake, why Drake isn't a hip hop artist, and put a picture of Drake and everything, and then put a picture of Glasses Malone, and I quote, and run whatever Glasses Malone just said all the way down to the bottom. Yo, I swear to God, this is great. He needed an award for that. If there was a podcast award for greatest speech ever, this would be it right here. Oh my God, bro. I'm running that back. Yes, I'm running that back.
He's a pop artist. Next week, he's a New York artist. He's Madonna as a rapper. Hip hop is street urban culture.
ancillary to
Just
this.
not hip hop, Ack. He's just not hip hop.
But that's not fair though. How is he not hip hop? Do you really think he's not hip hop?
Street urban culture. Just listen. Yes, hip hop is street urban culture personified through them arts and elements. He's not. He's a pop artist. He covers music like a pop artist. He's Madonna as a rapper. He does the exact same thing, cuz. The same thing, Ack. One week he'll have a low rider under the Bay Bridge and he's a West Coast artist. Next week, he's a New York artist and he started from the bottom, even though he started from a middle class community. It's just different. Ack. Next week, he's like, what the fuck, like Atlanta niggas. He's a pop artist. He just makes really great rap songs and he's a nice MC, but he's not a hip hop artist. That's why he was always destined to lose this battle.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, oh my God. Oh my God. You can't get around that argument. That's the greatest argument that I've ever heard. All the people that say that Drake isn't a hip hop artist, or Drake say that his hip hop artist, or whatever you want to say, he just put it in a way where you can't get around it. That right there is bulletproof. That's one of the best reasons why Drake isn't a hip hop artist I ever heard in my life. That was crazy, bro.
You was never going to beat this person who was so tied into culture, and outside of that is an unbelievably talented artist himself. Y'all don't get that because y'all think if somebody could rap good, they hip hop. That don't make you hip hop.
No.
You covering hip hop don't make you hip hop.
If Kendrick was from New York, they would have fucking. This would be a whole nother conversation.
Oh, for sure.
They would be rallying around that shit like it was crazy.
No.
Hip hop before.
That's a fact. That's a fact. If Kendrick was from New York, Drake wouldn't be. He would be irrelevant right now. Drake would be irrelevant. And I'm not saying that Cali dudes don't support Kendrick, because Cali do. But the thing I notice about Cali is Cali don't overdo shit. If they feel you, they support you, they give you the genuine love and respect. You know what I'm saying? But they don't go overboard. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. I respect that. They don't for lack of a better term, they don't be dick riding people. I respect that. New York dudes, and I'm from the East Coast, dick ride, bro. 100%. 100%. And the dude could be absolutely okay. And the East Coast dudes literally do that. They ride, bro. From Philly down to all the way down to Florida, bro. And you know what I'm saying? They ride, bro. It is what it is. To New York, to Jersey, all dick ride. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the artists that they like. That's why I say that if Kendrick was from New York, it would be a different story, because they would have made sure that he was the GOAT. They wouldn't even have they would have said no, they would have made sure he was the GOAT. Because you notice in New York, they got all GOATs, right? Because if you have an argument, who's better, Biggie or Jay, they're not going to really get mad at you. You say who's better, Biggie or Nas, they're not going to really get that mad at you. If you say who's better, Jay or Nas, they're not going to really get that mad at you. Rakim or Jay, Rakim or Nas, Rakim or Biggie, they're not going to really get mad at you. LL, they're not going to really get that mad at you. But if you say that Tupac is the GOAT, oh, they'll be pissed. If you say Kendrick is the GOAT, they'll be pissed. Snoop, Ice Cube, oh my God, you're crazy. They'll be pissed. Dr. Drake, they'll be pissed. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand the level of support, I'm going to say, I ain't going to say dick ride, support from the East Coast is a whole nother pushing upward versus the level of on the West Coast. The West Coast don't really do all that. They just be like, yeah, I feel you, cuz, and they really mean it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just out here just saying anything.
It was rapping act before it was rapping act.
I'm agreeing with you.
Rapping didn't start in rapping act. Hip hop had people dancing first. They had music first. Graffiti first.
Hold on.
Rapping was the last thing act.
Hey, by the way, I'm agreeing with you.
Dancing Hotline Bling.
Hold on, I'm agreeing with you. Here's my only issue with that, right? Because, by the way, I do think this was a Drake-specific thing. My thing is that I believe the culture had co-opted and adopted Drake to be hip-hop, and Kendrick just came out of the blue and said, no, he ain't. Because I ain't gonna lie to you.
But they didn't accept him. Act he understood.
From 20
This is what Act's not understanding. Just because somebody like you doesn't mean that they like you. You know what I'm saying? Trust and believe that. We all know that as black people, bro. Just because somebody say they like you doesn't mean that they really like you. Let's be clear here. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to shit on white people or anybody like that or any other culture or any other ethnicity. I'm just saying that's what happens sometimes. And with with Drake, he walked into the culture and people who were saying, who is this guy? And they like him. Oh, he cool. You know, I'll give you a perfect example, right? It's the same way when on the opposite side when they were making us dance for them. Right? It was making us dance. They're making us do the dance and all that stuff, right? That's how we feel about Drake. You making Drake dance. Dance for the culture. Yeah. It's kind of like what Kendrick said. What's that movie? The Kendrick reference? You know the movie. Y'all all know the movie. That's Drake. Malibu Most Wanted. Somebody that is not of the culture, rapping, and people like him a little bit, but he want to fit in. And just so happens, he fit in to the point where he kind of looked like he's a part of it, but he's really not. Because if you look at his lifestyle, he don't even reference anything of the culture. He doesn't. He keep niggas around him. That's about it. But outside of that, tell me how he referenced the culture. Where has he done anything to help the culture? Anything. When has Drake ever did anything for black culture? That's how you know he's not of the culture.
13 from 2013
like you understand
to 2020.
The value of it.
Wait.
He understands the value of it. So they didn't co-opt him. They just enjoyed. They just made records with somebody who could get bigger budgets and was a great talent. That don't make him the culture. You can't play this. This is real. So it's different. It ain't like all the rest of this shit. This ain't just rap. This shit real. So they never adopted him. He just was somebody that people like to do music with. He was a talented artist. But real fast, when that battle happened, you seen exactly how uncultured he was.
Hey, by the
you
way,
see all the dumbass shit he was saying. You can see it right now. You see him suing the company over losing the battle. You see him putting out stuff talking about this man
companies all the time. And
personal business.
I agree with you.
It got you acting weird.
Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. But here's the thing: like you're trying to overcomplicate it and try to make it. No. If Drake was a black man from the hood, it don't matter if you're culturally in tune, because I could mention certain black men from the hood who are ignorant as shit. Doesn't mean they're cultural, unless you're saying black culture is ignorance. And what Kendrick said, and his angle towards Drake would not work towards them. The reality is that Drake is just a half black guy, and that was always going to be a vulnerability.
Eminem is culture.
Hold up, Drake is a
And he's not black at all.
And he's not a
half black guy, and that was always going to be a vulnerability.
Eminem is culture.
Hold up, Drake is
and he's not black at all.
And he's not a half black man. Drake is a black man. He's a brother. He's not a half black man. That's a brother. He was raised as a Jewish man.
You mentioned about him being Jewish. Like, these things wouldn't matter if we're talking to a black man.
You miss it. That's not true. Because being black is more of a racial epithet to reflect different things. It's reflecting something else. Like, it's just different, right? Hip hop is culture, and everybody different things is reflecting something else. Like, it's just different, right? But what I'm saying to you is you're talking about culture. Hip hop is culture, and everybody black don't live the same way. That's why I keep using the term street urban culture. Different people. The Beastie Boys grew up Jewish, if I remember correctly. There's people who grew up in street urban culture. He just didn't. He don't speak slang. Talk to this nigga. He don't.
That's a fact, bro. He's spitting facts. That's a fact. He don't. And Eminem is culture. The Beastie Boys was culture. Third Base was culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? MC Search was culture. A lot of people don't know about MC Search. Y'all need to go and go research him. He's the reason why Nas is where he's at, not writing wise, but go search MC Search. Trust me, a lot of y'all don't know, like, for real.
Speak slang. He don't talk the way we talk. Nothing about him is nothing from no ghetto. Nothing about his culture. And it ain't like everybody from hip hop is from the ghetto.
If Drake was not culture.
Half he black, is a middle class man. He's like a fucking an attorney who just turns on the mic and becomes a nigga.
I guarantee if this is a dream world. I guarantee if the angle that Kendrick went with, if he tried to say anything to Future would just tell him to shut the fuck up and nobody would have cared because it wouldn't hit. Drake.
Because you can't take that angle on Future because Future is of the culture. This nigga's stupid, man. I'm starting to believe academics just says anything just to argue with people about Drake. I'm really starting to see that now.
Future the one that let him do it.
But he
the one that kicked it off.
But he
Shut that motherfucker off.
If he was battling Future, he wouldn't have said the same
But
thing.
you got to understand too, when Dot Drake control verse and got at everybody, niggas ain't say nothing then.
So y'all agree
When it
with
comes
me
down
that,
to
y'all
when
agree
it comes
with
down
me
to
that,
lyrical ability, when it comes down to really sitting there being strategic, when it comes to the essence of hip hop, that's what Kendrick is. He's
That's
studying
the
his whole life for this.
So I agree with you. He couldn't use the same thing with Future, but the problem is he couldn't use it with that. Couldn't do that to him.
All right, hold
He
on.
would
So
talk to him
Drake
differently.
Achilles' heel is that he's a half black, half white person who is Jewish from Toronto who may have not grown up in the hood.
He is not Drake Achilles' heel is he's a fraud.
Okay, explain
Damn,
that. Okay,
there we
explain
go.
that. No, explain.
That was hard. His Achilles heel is he's a fraud.
You have to break this one down, brother. Person who is Jewish from Toronto who may have not grown up in the hood.
He is not Drake Achilles' heel is he's a fraud.
Okay, explain
Damn,
that. Okay,
there we
explain
go.
that. No, explain
Now
that.
we're here.
You have to break this one down, brother.
No, he's not of anything culture. Everything is just a different level of culture that he uses to make music. He's not of any of those cultures. The one culture that he is of is Jewish culture. He don't use slang when he speaks. He speaks proper English. He's a really good guy. He's not even a bad guy. He's just not of street urban culture. So he's been acting like he's of different street urban culture from all around the country.
Wait, because
his songs
he-
went from being
wait,
really
hold on.
cool and
Yeah,
making
that's
perfect
not
sense
true,
to where he's
though.
talking about spinning the block and hurting people.
Wait, that's not true though. Like, you say Drake don't
That's a
use
fact.
slang.
You cooking.
I think Drake knows how to code switch. Wait, hold on. I think Drake
That's
knows how to
the
code
voice.
switch like
The voice.
many people. Like there's many people that know how to code switch, right? Like yo, you put him in front of
He's
this.
not cold switching, Act. He's not cold switching, Act.
So you're just saying
He's
that
not.
if
You
any-
talk to him, Drake. You talk to him, Act. You talk to him. Like you are somebody like me that has talked to him. You know who this brother is in real life, and he's not a half white. He's a brother. But again, we talking about him being Negroid. His descendants from Africa. His father is from Memphis. But he is not of any of them else. That's a middle class child actor success story, Jewish kid from Canada.
His blood is Egyptian. You heard him.
Look, and
You heard?
ooh, that's a
See, again, I don't like when people do stuff like that. That was pretty funny though, but I don't like when people do stuff like that. Just interject with something, some old ad hominem attack. But Drake did say that though. He did say that.
brother. Like y'all got to stop saying half white. Stop calling that man. Man ain't no white man.
Hey,
Man,
by the
is a
way,
brother. And
Hey,
again,
hey,
he's
by the way.
also uncultured in this land.
Hey, by the way, the reason why I
This
reject that,
conversation.
and I hate to bring up somebody who I really love, to make my point, but you wouldn't say that to 21 Savage, and he grew up until like he was 9 or 10 in the UK, which even that like culture is different from what.
Hell no, them motherfuckers is crazy. What you mean? UK got it all
No,
hip
hold on,
hop.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's
But
crazy.
hold
Then he
on.
went to
But when he
Atlanta in the
rapped,
ghetto.
but when he rapped,
He's extra hip hop.
no. But when he
I
rapped,
think Act not really understand what you're saying. Meaning,
No,
like
I do understand
Drake-
what
if
he's
Drake
saying. What I'm
was
saying, they're
raised-
picking and
if Drake
choosing.
was raised by his black father,
This
in a
wouldn't be a
it
conversation.
wouldn't be a conversation. I think that's where you're missing it. Like
If it
it's
was
not.
raised in Memphis.
It don't matter if it was Canada, if it was France, if it was whatever.
From a fucked up place in England, and he from a fucked up place in Atlanta.
He's from the culture.
He's not a middle class child actor, Nickelodeon star that's playing through different people's cultures. Act, you know the difference. That don't take away that cuz is a dope talent, but you don't gotta lie.
no, hold on.
He ain't nothing like 21. 21 is
Wait,
actually cultured as a motherfucker.
I'm not trying to use 20, and that's my guy. I want to throw him on.
Damn, bro. Yo, Ack, you getting bodied on this joint, bro. They got you, man. They got you. They really got you.
But anyway, what I was trying to say is that I really believe that y'all are just using the fact that he grew up. You're right. He grew up around his white mother, And because of that, you're kind of more penalizing him than understanding that there's many people within hip hop that may have had different experiences while they were growing up. The reason why I use 21 is that
you can't but act. This is you still not understanding what they're saying. You're thinking that they're penalizing him, but they're really not. They're giving you what the facts are. Just because somebody give you the facts doesn't mean they're penalizing you. They're giving you the facts. The fact is, he grew up with his. You trying to grew up with his Jewish mother. You trying to say that that's not fair, but it is what it is. Life isn't fair. You know, people say stuff like that. Life ain't fair. You got, man, what you talking about? Life is fair. Life ain't fair. I'm just saying. So you gotta understand, this is what it is, man. And I think that he's not getting that part. This is a really good episode.
hey, he grew up maybe in a different tradition. I'm not saying it's not black or nothing like that, because it clearly is. Both of his people are black. But it wasn't Atlanta, but then later it was Atlanta. Like y'all are almost using and indicting Drake for literally, like, for a part of his life growing up with his mom and maybe like being a child actor. Like, is that like the thing that
is it right there? That's it right there. You just defeated your own argument. Yes, that's exactly what it is. They're not indicting him. They're using that, saying, even they're not even using it. They're just showing you reality. This is what happened when he grew up and he walked into the culture later on in his life. But he's not of it because he doesn't even understand certain things, and he's moving around throughout different people, rapping different ways, developing slangs from different cultures up in within the culture. Like, come on, bro.
Wait. LeAngelo Ball has a white mom, but he was raised by a black man. So that's the culture of what we're talking about.
Culture is not how you born. It's not an indictment. It's nothing wrong with Drake.
All right, hold on.
The only thing wrong with Drake is he's
LeAngelo
acting
Ball
like a
and
bunch
Drake,
of people that
and
he's
tell me
not.
the difference. Explain, because you just brought it up. I forgot who just said it. LeAngelo Ball and Drake. Again, I'm not here sitting and saying, "Oh, Drake is whatever." But I do think that you guys are skirting around a main issue. The easy thing to pinpoint about Drake is that you're a half black man that grew up with your white mother, and because of that,
We didn't say that because we said
That's what you're saying. You're saying that. They're not saying that. That's what you're saying.
we said Eminem was right. It's culture. And he's white.
It's just white people.
Yeah, you're not getting the point now.
It's culture.
It's culture.
You're just being disingenuous.
By the way, anytime Eminem,
Nothing to do with race.
it does have. Hold on, when Eminem got into
Nothing to do with race.
Wait, hold on.
Nothing.
When Eminem got into back and forth skirmishes, that's the first thing they brought up about it. Boy, you a white boy. That's a fact. When he was,
And it didn't matter. And you know what?
They didn't say he wasn't the culture though.
it never
it didn't matter.
That's true. They did say that, but they never said he wasn't of the culture. You can say that all you want, Act, but no one ever said Eminem. No one has never. People say they don't like Eminem. People say they hate the way he rap. People say they hate him rapping fast. People say they don't like Eminem, but no one has ever said Eminem is not of the culture. I never seen anybody, in my opinion, I never seen anybody say Eminem is not of the culture. I never seen that, not one time.
Because nobody cares.
50 had to jump on Ja Rule. Like, there's a lot of shit that, like, when anybody was, even Benzie, when people start bringing up the fact that Eminem was a white guy, even though, culturally,
it didn't work.
Bro, it's not about your race. This is what you're not getting. It's not about your race. You could be white within the culture. The culture doesn't, in my opinion, the culture doesn't have a specific color, because the culture is what it is. Like, certain things that we do, certain things. Now, some people might say, you're not of black culture, but it's culture is not just black culture. It could be American culture. It could be Kansas City culture. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's cultures within the culture, but overall, Eminem is of the culture. He's of the hip hop culture. You get what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let them finish and then we gonna end this.
He won every time. Culture won every battle.
Culture gonna win.
But
Culture's gonna win every battle.
He
bro.
didn't win it as
What
culture.
he's saying is that they use
No,
that against him.
so y'all want me to believe that Eminem won battles as culture versus black people? Stop playing with me.
No, you're missing a point. Act. We're saying you couldn't use that against him, and nobody cared because we understand he's cultured.
Dang.
That's the difference.
You can't get around that. That's 100% facts. You can't get around that.
No,
That's
he's
my
saying
question.
that,
How
and they
Drake is
definitely
not
did.
culture, and Drake did so much shit into culture.
Drake is an
Drake's
artist.
DNA.
That don't make you cultured as an artist.
Everything,
So
the sad part about it, everything Drake does, you guys. The sad thing is that everything you guys do, you guys put what Drake. Like, all right, okay, I get it. And you know why maybe I empathize or I see Drake a bit, maybe like not. First of all, both my parents are black. My mama just came out here.
But you also a middle class kid that came to this country as a middle class kid. So you think it exes you out. That's not true.
No, hold on.
Damn. That might have been one of the best episodes that I have done. I love it. As far as Act goes, he's absolutely right about what he said about Act when he says that you developed your culture from Chicago. That's how you learned the culture. So here's my thing, right? Academics doesn't want to just basically just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. That's all you have to do. And I think if once Drake figures out that all he has to do is be honest. And he say, listen, if Drake had came out and said, listen, I am not of the culture. I want to be a part of this culture. I want to learn more. People would respect that. What can you say to him if he said that? People would respect that. But if people like academics keep egging him on and making people believe or making him believe that he's of the culture, Drake isn't of the culture. Like, I'm sorry to tell y'all this. I've been saying this for a while. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all think I've been capping, but I've been saying this for a while. He's not of the culture. I told me and my boy got an episode where we talked about this, and he swear up and down Drake. I said, no, he's not. Drake walked into this. He walked into it. Not of the culture. He walked into it, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? But either way, man, thank y'all for joining me. Appreciate y'all. 8 o'clock show coming up. See y'all. Peace. Bye.